This week on Music Worth Buying, we're going to be checking out the latest release from Joe Jackson entitled The Fool.
And the Doors' 50th anniversary deluxe edition of Waiting for the Sun.
Hey everybody, this is TJR. I'm a musician and a music writer.
And my name is Robert Kinsler, and I'm a music writer and a musician.
And we're here today to talk about two albums that we have both discovered that we're excited about and share with each other and share with you and see what y'all think. And I will begin the festivities for this episode by introducing everybody to the latest album by Joe Jackson entitled The Fool. I have this on vinyl, which means I got to be careful because the lights keep wanting to glare off of it. It's entitled The Fool. This is his 20th studio album, if you can believe that.
Amazing.
I have to be completely honest here. I have to give full disclosure. I've only really been casually familiar with Joe Jackson, mainly just his hits. This is the first time that I have listened to a full-length album by him, and I've been very impressed with it. I'm going to actually quote the author himself, because I think he really summed up what this album is supposed to be all about, and he should know. And he gave everybody a great little press release. So I'm just going to quote this time. The theme of the album is comedy and tragedy, and the way they're intertwined in all our lives. The songs are about fear and anger and alienation and loss, but also about the things that still make it worth living: friendship, laughter, and music, or art itself. He then added, "I couldn't have done this in 1979. I just hadn't lived enough," which I think is interesting. I'm going to play the opening track off this album, and this track is entitled Big Black Cloud.
Sun's out, I wanna wear a fez, wanna do a dance, but the weatherman says no go. You can't go. Save us from the big black cloud. Save us from the big black cloud.
You know, that's my first time hearing that, and I know you mentioned with Joe Jackson that you haven't heard any of his entire albums before this. I have to confess of the same thing, but I'll tell you, this just knocked me out. I feel like just a one-time initial listen is, I can't really be a fair judge of it, but I definitely want to hear this song again and hear the other things on the album. Yeah.
It's a very powerful song.
Very powerful.
I actually talked about this song on my Monday New Music Roundup vlog that I do on Mondays, where I just bring up new single releases to go check out. It's a very quick little Monday thing I do. And I brought up this song when I first heard it. I love there's like a kind of a dark pop vibe to it that I really like. A little bit of a Steely Dan vibe as well. In fact, there's a Steely Dan vibe in a number of the songs on this album. Not all, but a number of them. And Steely Dan also plays into this release in a way that I'm going to get into a moment when we talk about packaging. But I compare this album to a Beatles album in that each song is a different musical color. Each song is its own little short story, occupying its own little world. And I've always felt that the best Beatle albums do that. Let's just talk about the packaging. Now, this album is available on CD and streaming, but I picked it up on vinyl, and there was a reason why. So here is the front and back cover there. There you go.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very
nice artwork.
Yeah, nice artwork.
And here's the inner sleeve, which I'm sure is going to be replicated inside the CD if you pick up the CD. You get all the lyrics here. And this side you get the liner notes and photos.
Yeah.
But I like the whole design of it, the playing card design of the whole thing. It's very nice. I believe this is 180 gram vinyl here that they put this on. Now, I don't know about all vinyl releases, but I was at Barnes & Noble, and their version of it on vinyl came with this additional single here that you got, 45 single. You get a cover of Night by Night by Steely Dan. There's the connection.
Yeah, okay.
And a cover of the Peter Gunn theme on this little extra disc here. So, and this is not included on CD. Yeah, it's a nice little bonus that comes with it. And I think that's what induced me to decide to get this one on. Go ahead and just get this one on vinyl.
Yeah. Sounds well worth it.
We are going to play another track now, and it's entitled Dave.
Dave lives in a cave under a hill, a little way from the sea. 2 cups of tea and rashers for breakfast. Well done, works until 1. No need to run, just what he needs to live.
Again, my first listen to this song as well to Dave. Another knock it out of the park song. It's melodic, it's catchy, but it's
fun?
substantial. It's fun. Yeah, it just lures you in. It's just great. I can't wait to hear this album. And the album's called Fool, you said, right?
Called Fool. Yeah, I accidentally said The Fool. It's actually entitled Fool. I misspoke.
Okay.
And I picked these 2 songs because of how I thought they were kind of juxtapositioned to the themes that he talks about in regards to this album. I personally felt like Black Cloud just kind of captures the kind of everyday darkness that can inhabit even the most mundane parts of life. The other one, Dave, I felt the song is about a guy who is unconcerned with joining the human rat race, only working enough to live so that he can enjoy the quiet moments of life. But the narrator of the song can't understand why. So you're seeing 2 things. You're seeing this one character who is just unconcerned with the rat race, and another person who's like, well, why aren't you? You can't understand why you're not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I love the juxtaposition of these 2 songs, their themes, the stories that they're telling. And the whole album is like this. It's not a really long album. I think it's only about 8 tracks. And if you are one of those types that judges, the album by how many songs you get, this may not be for you. I'd rather listen to a really tight, excellent 35-minute or 40-minute album than something a lot longer with a bunch of filler songs that just aren't that great. Every track on this is just splendid.
It sounds like
and I think a lot of them do take more than one, definitely take more than one listen, but I think you'll be richly rewarded if you give it a chance.
Yeah. Well, God, thanks for bringing that in. Yeah, I definitely want to listen to Fool from Joe Jackson. That you have that front and center on my radar.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So what do you got for us?
Well, I've brought in, this album is probably not a stranger to too many people. This is the 3rd album from the Doors, Waiting for the Sun. But what caught me off guard is this 50th anniversary deluxe edition was released in late 2018. I just stumbled upon it when I was at my favorite brick and mortar record store, and I caught this, and then I started looking at it. I think I looked online and discovered it had a bunch of cool unreleased stuff or previously unreleased stuff. So I purchased it, and boy, was I glad I did. It has, on disc 1, it has the original stereo mix of the 11-track album that came out in 1968. It has that, and it's remastered by the original mixer and engineer of that album, Bruce Botnick. He's actually worked on this version, and the album is pretty amazing. Most people are going to know Hello, I Love You, or Love Street, or Not to Touch the Earth. Again, these songs, if you listen to classic rock radio, you know these songs, or you probably have the original version. But boy, does the versions that you hear here are substantially, it's like hearing them for the first time. I just love what Bruce has done with the remix here. Now, there's a second disc on it of 14 bonus tracks, and that's a mix of original demos of some of the songs you hear on disc 1, but also it has 5 terrific live tracks that were recorded in 1968 at a concert in Copenhagen. Let me see if I can spit that one out. So, and what I'd like us to do is listen to one of those live tracks. Just maybe this will lure you into buying this deluxe edition. And this is a song I think everyone knows. It's called Backdoor Man, but let's listen to this very raw and sparse but very cool version of that song.
Right
listen to a little bit of that one.
I'm ready. Hey everybody, this is TJR. Sorry to have to intrude here, but right when we uploaded this video to YouTube and before we could even make it public, we got a copyright notice from Warner Music Group regarding our use of the track Backdoor Man from the Doors' Waiting for the Sun anniversary re-release. This left us with no alternative other than to remove the audio and instead have me visit you from the future into our video from the past. Wrap your brains around that one.
Logical.
And now here's our reaction to Backdoor Man live from Copenhagen off the Doors re-release of Waiting for the Sun. You know, some people have a hard time listening to a track that's this rough and this raw, that's not as professionally produced as the final product. I've never had that problem. And while I love hearing the final studio track, I really loved hearing this version, even though it sounds at times like I'm hearing it from between, with a wall between me. In many respects, this early rough version is more menacing than the original, than what was on the studio version. It's much more menacing and frightening. In fact, it feels like if I was having a nightmare and I heard Backdoor Man in the background of my nightmare, it would sound more like this. And that's and I mean that as a compliment. It's got a very menacing feel. I really enjoyed hearing that really raw version of it.
No, and I just love it. It's, you can hear why the Doors were so, you know, the establishment viewed him as so you know, dangerous and stuff, you know. I mean, here, you really see that they were just going, you know, you didn't know what you were going to get when they took the stage. I mean, Jim Morrison was kind of crazy and stuff, and it's very cool. I mean, just a great version. And in a minute, we'll play another one, a little bit of one of the other tracks from there. Just love that one as well. But, yeah, just a beautiful package. Like I said, I think we, you know, you can't go wrong. If you're a Doors fan, you probably already own it. But if you've heard about the Doors and don't really know why they were so groundbreaking and why their music has endured, check out Waiting for the Sun, this deluxe edition. It's really nice. You know, both the regular studio album that's been remixed and remastered and the bonus cuts too.
Now, do we get to hear another track?
Yes, we are. So let's listen to the song that follows Backdoor Man. And I have to say, I just love Robbie Krieger's guitar solo on this live version. I mean, it just goes off. And this is 5-1. Let's listen to a little bit of that one.
Yes, you guessed it. Warner Music Group is not going to let us play the rough mix version of 5-1 off the Doors Waiting for the Sun anniversary release. Here's our reaction, though.
So, yeah, again, that's the track that follows the one we just heard, Backdoor Man. And I just want people to hear, because everybody's familiar with the hits.
Yes.
So I wanted people to hear that some of these really bonus features that you get on there, particularly this live concert. I think if you're a Doors fan or you're interested in hearing kind of about the dynamics, what the band was live, that's captured on here, and it sounds great.
Cool.
You know, so I really very much recommend this release.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks for bringing that in.
And thanks for bringing in Joe Jackson's Fool, too.
That's
Great album.
Yeah. So, folks, have you heard either of these? And do you intend to? Let us know. Let us know what you think about these releases. What releases have you checked out that you think are, you know, that more people need to know about? Please share that with everybody here, and us included. Thank you so much for watching. If you're a subscriber, thank you. If you're a patron supporter, a huge big thank you. We'll see you next time, everybody. Take care.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.